Hello and welcome to Build the Millennium Falcon. We're issue 6 with Azarmorph. This is the card that you get with the parts. There's a bag holding hold of the parts, and I can tell you we've got quite a few parts to be going through in this episode. And unlike other times, I haven't even stuck a sticker on anywhere because they're just fresh out of the bag right now. So I'm wanting to get through this magazine so we can start putting things together. Now, we're just going to crack on with the magazine as we always do, and we're straight over the page, and straight on. Let's dive straight in, so let's just get it lined up properly for you. Now, in this issue of the magazine, we've got Dash Render's Outrider. This is the YT2400. This is also built by the Millennium Engineering Corporation. So I had to think about that for a moment. It just says CC throughout the magazine, but I'm sure I've got that right. The Millennium Engineering Corporation. As you can see, it's got the same saucer-eye shape as per the YT1300, so it fits in with the YT series. But it's got a couple of outriders here to the cockpit and control in this instance. The crew compartments are in this element here. That's not only 3 crew for this, so it could constantly fly. Slightly smaller ship in some ways to the Millennium Falcon. An example here is that the length is 21 metres, where the Millennium Falcon is 34.37 metres. And we've got the width here, it's slightly wider actually, it's 26.7 metres, where the width of the Millennium Falcon is 25.61, and so on and so forth. Comes up with a few comments on the design, etc. We're not going to sit and look at the fine detail of the ship. We're going to turn over the page and have a look at the gentleman himself. This is Dash Render. Now, Dash Render did know Han Solo, and he also knew Lando Calrissian. Now, Render had a lot in common with Han Solo. One of the key things here was he was actually training as an Imperial officer until his family incurred the Emperor's displeasure. So I don't know what they did, and in a sense he was exiled. Now, the Outrider was known to be involved. The thing here is, I didn't know much about this ship until I got the magazine, I'll be honest. However, they've interweaved the story of the Outrider with the Star Wars saga really quite well. And by doing so, there's a couple of key things. One of them is that he was on Hoth at the same time that they were fighting the Imperial there, and had to escape. The same way as the Millennium Falcon did. Also, that when Han Solo was captured by Boba Fett and was put into not Kryptonite, that's Superman, isn't it? When he was frozen, I'm going to live to regret saying that, but when he was frozen, he with Calrissian went out to try and rescue him before we saw the rescue, and that wasn't very successful. However, what it did do, it was part of the ships that were on a successful attack against an Imperial freighter called the Sorpresa. And what was on that ship was the plans of the second Death Star. So it helped in securing the next attack and destruction of that Death Star. Now, the interesting thing here is that we actually do see the ship in the New Hope, but this is the re-edited special edition New Hope, where Obi-Wan Kenobi and Luke Skywalker are coming into Mos Eisley, and you see the ship just disappear. I did see that, and I thought it was just another Millennium Falcon, but it's not. It is the Outrider. So it goes into more detail, but as you know, I just skim over it, because if you want to see this, you should be getting it. But there we go. Anyway, we move over the page and we go to, I'm going to say this wrong, it's Kashaks. I'm going to say Kashaks, and I know that's just going to open me up for some even more abuse. But Kashaks is the land of the Wookiee, and as such it is well known. I say well known. Yeah, so it's the well known character Chewbacca. That's what I'm getting, you know. It's the well-known character Chewbacca. Now, the reason why I'm fumbling here is I'm actually looking for a piece of information, because there is actually something that this is referred to in the previous magazine. There we go, I found it now. Because the way that this planet works, it is the green version of Coruscant. Because it has, the poles are non-populated, the are only a couple of cities where you can actually land, because the trees here, these sizable trees you can see here, it grows to such a size that they are basically many layers to them. In fact, so much so that the wikis and other life forms live in the top or uppermost of the tree, and down in the darks is where you really don't want to be. In fact, so much so that it's a rite of passage for the wikis to go into the dark undergrowth to prove their worth and prove that they're growing up. So it goes on to talk more about it in some depth, and it does also give you some interesting diagrams about how the civilizations wrap themselves around these massive trees. And the interesting thing is that they do actually grow together, then continue to grow, and basically are quite sizable. So really, it's a good outline of where the wikis come from, and it's quite interesting. Then we go on to the next, which is the one thing we do know all about. It's the holographic game tables. This is where we had the Chewbacca facing off against R2-D2, and with the holographic monsters. Now, not all the ships came with a holographic table. They were normally installed, or in entertainment, I should say, was installed normally by the captains to keep the crew entertained on the long haulage flights, etc. So in this instance, we can see three of the main characters, Chewbacca, C-3PO, and R2-D2 around the table. As we know from the Star Wars, whilst Luke Skywalker's getting trained by Han Solo, and Han Solo's laughing at the fact that he's trying to be a Jedi. So then we turn over here and we see the table in a bit more detail. You can see the internal workings of the table and the holographic projectors. Also, it shows here that the table normally started with 4 monsters per player. It then also goes through some of the monsters that were used on the table, and we're focusing here of the Kintan Strider and the Mantelian Shavrip, which are the 2 characters that we saw engage in battle on the table in the film, and which is basically happening there once they're there on the table. They also go into behind the scenes section up here. It goes into how they filmed it, and what they did to kind of get that glitchy feel for the film was that they actually filmed it, and then they put it up on a monitor, and then they filmed the monitor, so it looked that kind of glitchiness. Quite interesting stuff, and quite smart thinking in those days, I think, because remember it was filmed way back in the I'm not going to say it because it's going to make me feel old. But anyhow, we go on to the part that we always like, which is the building the model itself, and as I say, looking forward to getting to these parts. And as you can see, quite a lot of them. So we're going to go to the close-up for the parts, so you might not get it as always, so we'll just quickly go through these. Item 1, this is the back canopy of the cockpit. As you can just see there, those are the panels. So it's not circular as such, it's like panel, 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 panel. So that's the top part. It's then also got these 2 feet. Obviously, the best of it I can say is the 2 feet here. And these line up with the bottom of here. And I think the reason why I've done that is for ease of getting the stickers in. And I've got a feeling that at some point you'll glue these 2 parts together, or these 3 parts together. So there's 3 of the parts already, and then we get to the stickers, which, as I said at the beginning of this, I've not stuck in yet. So you've got sticker 1 and sticker 2, which we'll get on with sticking in at the moment. And then we've got the control levers, which are here. I'll just take, because actually, that looks like that is, yeah, that's virtually a 1-to-1 scale. Virtually. I think the picture's slightly bigger, but there you go. These are the controllers. Now, again, I might not stick these in just now, because I'm still in 2 minds about painting this and painting it vanilla. But we'll get to that bridge when we cross it. The next part is the circle. The circle of life. Now this is the part, from what I can see on from this side of the magazine, that we'll put the cockpit into, and then we'll connect it onto the shaft that leads into the rest of the ship. And then we've got the cockpit piece, as he knocks other bits. We've got the cockpit, I just about said something wrong there. The cockpit glass part of the Millennium Falcon, which is really quite nicely detailed. And again, we'll be close in on this when we get to it. And then we've got the underside of the cockpit, so, you know, we'll get to that. And then we've got more bits. We've got a whole sprue of parts here. I think we can just make it through the plastic there. The plastic is split slightly. but I'm not pulling them out yet. We will have a look at this part that you can just make out and near the end, but these aren't being stuck on at the moment from what I can understand from the magazine. If you have a look here, but these are extras, so we'll be cutting these off and we'll be sticking these to the Millennium Falcon in various locations just to add the extra detail. And last but not least, before we get into the close-up stuff, is the background seat. Bit Battleship grey for me, I've got to be honest. You know, if you ever bought yourself a battleship model or a tank model, it's that kind of grey. But this is where the seat goes in here, with where my fingernail is will be the holograph table. So that's what that part, as you can see by the photograph, are down here. So that's what we'll be sitting into there when we get the parts for that. So these are the parts that we're going to be working on today. So what I'm now going to do is I'm now going to get the close-up shot lined up, and I'll be right back. And welcome back. Right, I had a little bit of fun game with the stickers in my last shot, if I'm open and honest about it. They were a bit more fiddly than expected. Crux of that is that there is a slight overlap, as you can see here, with the white of the back of the sticker along here, which made it a little bit more difficult to do. So all you actually got to see was me doing lots of this, which I didn't feel was making good entertainment. So what I've done is we've now got the stickers attached. As you can see here, it kind of, you can make out the kind of angle of panel there, panel there, panel there, so it's not semicircular. Well, it is semicircular, but with ridges, as you can see a bit better there. So I've put the stickers in, unfortunately. I was hoping to show you that. It just didn't work, in my opinion. But what I have done is I've left the feet off, as it were, the feet of the parts. Now, as you can see here, we've got some ridges here. You can just make out the ridges there. These actually sit within the upper part of the carcass, which is here. You can see that there, to form the back panel. Now, what I have learned by doing this is that these feet, which also have, you can just make it out there, the grills, line up with these. Now, the first time I put these together, I just stuck them on. There's an actually better way to do it is, so if you're doing this yourself, you've got the corner in here, feed the sticker into the corner there, and then wrap it up. Now, the reason why we do that, why I've realised that that's the better option, obviously trying to keep that in line as well, which I haven't done in this instance, so let's just ping that off again and do it once more. You can see what I mean, it's quite finicky. So stick the sticker in and bring it up. And one more time. Third time's a charm. There we go. Now the reason why I do that, and I found that that worked better, which it hasn't done in this instance again, you can see now why I decided not to film the rest of it, because it was as fiddly as this for the other parts. But there we go, that's that one now in place. I'm happy with that. Good, good. Now the reason for that is it gave the kink in here. Sorry, do that again. Around that way. It gave the kink in there the same as the rest of the model by putting the sticker into that corner. It was just a little kind of, I realised it kind of formed the rest of the arch the same way. So again, I'm going to do the same again on this side, into the, and I'm going to try and get it in a bit of an angle for you, into there like so, and then if luck has it with me, not quite, slightly out, so we'll do that slightly again, into there like so, and then fold up and in, and we are there. That's good. Happier with that. Yep, happier with that. And then it gives me that nice little bit of sharpness in along there, as you can see, just using the ridge of my nail to kind of form it. And there we go, we've got the arc together with it, what I call the feeting here. So then I'll bring in the main part of the model. I've already put this, we know this only too well, which is the cockpit, into place with the light. Now these are the lights, these strip lights, and this is the thing that's really kind of concerning me now, because when I put this in, we've got the strip lights here and here, and it's how we're going to get them to match up. Now also, I don't know if you can just make out in there, we've also got the same as on the upper part, a little groove for these to go into. So I'm now going to slot that in, and I'm not seeing this the same as you, I'm just putting it in place. There we go. And if I push it down, oh, look at that. Oh, gorgeous. Oh, gorgeous. Now, what I've also done is that means that the overlay, the extra bit, is sticking back here. So I've not lost any of the sticker. I've kept the straight edge to the front here, and that, to me, looks lovely. Now, next part of the puzzle, obviously, is to get the top piece to fit on. And of course, we've got the grooves up the top here to fit into this part here. You can just make out, so I'll just get it, there we go. So, because I'm trying to watch the model and what's going on the screen, and unlike me, I haven't put the display of the video on the right monitor, so it's making it a little bit more difficult for me today. So let's just get these all lined up, and there we go. That is going together rather nicely, if I do say so myself. I don't know if I got all that on the shot. You can tell me off in the comments. But there we go, just squeezing it together now. And there you go. Now, obviously, once we've got the light pack, that'll come to life in itself, so that's really good. Now, we're going to go to the next part, which is the external part of the cockpit itself. Now, I'll just see if I can get to show you these. Yes, you can just see them here. You see there's a little nib where my pinky is. There's another smaller nib here, which we'll get to in a minute. And if I flick it around here, there's another nib here. These are important, because when I put part A and part B, as it were, together to form the juicy cockpit, which clicks together like so. We all know that one very well, don't we? This then forms into having a groove. That was the best way to say it there. Groove, follow it around to there, and a groove there. So those then fit with that, and if I've got it right, there's a part of the smooth bit underneath, but there's a bit of detail up here, and I believe that is the centre piece that then slots onto the, he says, with hope, which slots onto this. I notice what's going on here. This is slightly misaligned. There we go. So we'll try that again with the detail on the top. Yeah, there's the right detail. So we'll just click it all together. There we go. And that holds the cup. And obviously when you glue all this together, it'll stay together, but there we go. So we're on to the step. And then that little one at the bottom there, you can just make out there is actually a place for it on the main model, which is there. So that then lines up, he hopes. And you're beginning to see the same thing as I am. But this is going to be tight because obviously I'm dealing with a few pieces at once, which is never the easiest thing to get to do. And obviously I'm trying to be gentle, but give it a little nudge in the right direction, which is never a good thing to do while you're not going on. So, no, there we are, we're getting there. See, you know you want it, there we go. I knew that was going to happen. I just knew it. I knew that once I'd got that ring in the air, it was going to just pop the other way out. It's just the pressures of the plastic, but obviously when it's all glued together, it'll make sense. But there we go! We've got a cockpit. Now, I don't know if there's going to be plastic on the inserts on these. We'll just have to find out as we go. But there we got a cockpit. Just see Han Solo, Chewbacca and the crew sitting in there, can't we? But obviously with the lights going in it, I think that'll really come together. So that is the major part of the build done. However, we're going to go back to a couple of things that we've mentioned already. Now, in the magazine, if I bring it forward, I'm just going to plonk that there for the moment. You can see here that they are talking about cutting out the controllers and then sticking them in. As I haven't yet decided whether I'm keeping this vanilla or not, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to stick this with the other controllers for now until we actually glue these into places. So I'm going to stick them in my tin. And then the last piece is this one. Now, if you have a look at this, now these will be added on. In fact, there's one piece here I think I've identified already. This one here will be sticking onto the outer shell there. So that's kind of how they're saying about the build. Now I'm going to put that out of sight for the moment, and I'm going to come over to here because this is mentioning, this piece here is actually mentioned in some of the kit bashing, as they call it, where they use other models to up the design on their models. And in this one, it was Tamiya's model of a six-wheeled tie rail car. and they used these axles, which are here, which are exactly the same as this piece here, to kit bash and place outside the gun. So again, not doing anything with these in this episode yet, but I'm sure that'll come when they want us to cut these out and stick them onto the model. So we are getting on to that, and obviously the seat part, nothing to do with that. So I think that kind of brings us to the end of issue 6. I hope you have enjoyed it. Please leave a like down below if you have, and obviously if there's any comments or any way you think I can improve this, the filming or the series, by all means leave a comment below. So I guess that only leaves me to say, until next time, boys, girls, ladies, gentlemen, aliens and other life forms, stay safe.